In this video, we'll discuss some important items related to land surveys. The first item we need to discuss is the azimuth and bearings. Azimuth describes the direction of an object from north or south pole. So if you look in this first picture, you will see diagonal lines. This one has an azimuth of 45 degrees because it is 45 degrees from the north or the positive y-axis. This one has 135, here it is 225, and finally this one's 315. All of these are described from the north axis. Now bearing is a bit different as it describes the direction of a line. This is usually how lines of a property are specified. They're always noted from either the north axis or the south axis, whichever one it's closest to. Then there's a number specified. This is the degrees away from the axis that the line is. Lastly, either east or west is specified. This tells the observer that they are starting from a north or south and moving in the east or west direction. So if you look at the example here, this line starts at the south axis and turns 62 degrees east. So that we have south 62 degrees east. Okay? When you survey properties, you are noting the boundaries of the properties. This can be done in 3 different ways. The first way is meets and bounds, the second is lots and blocks, and the third is the rectangular system. Here's an example of meets and bounds. This is really useful when boundaries are formed by physical objects or bodies. For example, that can include rivers, roads, lakes, hills, mountains, and so on. Here is the second way, which is lots and blocks. In this case, subdivisions are divided into blocks, and the blocks are divided into lots. The last example of surveying is the rectangular system. Here, each segment of land has a township and a range number. This would be very useful for cities where properties tend to be a bit smaller. When you have the property surveyed, you must also provide a legal description. On this slide, you can see that these are the items that are required for that legal description. The next thing we'll discuss will be plot plans. These drawings are where the properties are described and noted on paper. Usually when you purchase a home or land, you will get a copy of the plot plan at settlement. These are the items that are required for the plot plans. The next few slides will show some examples of plot plans. You can see there's the plot plan, there's the road. There's a couple of plot plans here with the property lines noted. And here's a plot plan with a home noted. This slide mentions plotting traverses for property lines. In order to do that, we may need to be able to convert some angles. Many times, legal documents in county offices will have traverses and property lines described in degrees, minutes, and seconds. But CAD systems will require you to specify angles in degrees with decimals if needed. So as a person working in the civil industry, you will need to be able to convert back and forth between the two. This slide reviews the process for conversions. First, we will go from decimal to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Here, the whole number is the degree. When you take the decimal part of the number and divide that by 60, the whole part of that number is the minutes. And lastly, you'll take the decimal part of that number and multiply it again by 60, and the whole part of that number is the seconds. Now to do the other conversion from degrees, minutes, and seconds to decimals, you can use another process noted. The degrees is the whole number. You will need to divide the seconds by 3,600. You will write down that number. Please keep in mind it'll be very small. Next, you're going to divide the minutes by 60. That will also be a small number. To finish the conversion, you simply add all the numbers together and your conversion is complete. This slide is going to go over that process with some examples. First, we will do the degrees, minutes, and seconds from the decimal. Starting with the whole number, that is your degrees. So for 39.52, we have 39 degrees. Then we take 0.52 and multiply that by 60. We have 31 minutes. Now we take the 0.2 and multiply that by 60 again to get 12 seconds. Our final measurement is 39 degrees, 31 minutes, and 12 seconds. For the other conversion, we start with 18 degrees, 59 minutes, and 3 seconds. We're going to divide the 3 seconds by 3600, and we get 0.00083. It is a very small number. Next, we divide the 59 minutes by 60, and we get 0.983. Lastly, we're going to add the 18, the 0.983, the 0.00083 together to get 18.98383 degrees. Now you're going to use your skills to practice drawing property lines, and you may need to know how to do those conversions.